Hello and welcome to Everyday Success. I'm your host Ron Laker, and today we're at one of our favorite bookstores in Tampa, Florida with Greg Masse, the author of And Then Came Peace. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ron. Cheers.
The book is a hybrid. It's two books in one. It's an action thriller, but yet it has a spiritual, religious enlightenment message. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first and foremost, Ron, the book is an entertaining read. It captures the audience through a dynamic, fast-paced story. The Middle East is the backdrop, Arab Spring development, the conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis as they struggle to gain peace. That's the backdrop to the story, which is a very exciting, dynamic backdrop. However, inside that story is a message of hope, a revelation of enlightenment. And it's based on facts of religion and history. And in a sense, it ties both our tradition of history and religion with the story and the excitement story. So it's kind of like a truth well told.
What inspired you to write And Then Came Peace?
I find that religion, albeit a great expression of our faith, in many places it divides us. We know a lot about the religions that we are born into, but very little about the other religions around the world. And I just wanted to communicate more information about those religions and hopefully bring some respect and tolerance to ourselves.
Everybody comes from someplace. What's your background and why this book?
I'm a Christian, and my family, friends, colleagues are all Christian, and we celebrated and worshipped in the tradition of that Christianity and knew very little about other religions. And what I found myself doing is often wondering about different religions and what they were about and how they expressed themselves in different communities, and wanted to kind of like further understand that. So my background is marketing, advertising. It was my career. And as I was working, I went back to college and studied theology to understand that basis and then take that story and learning into a book.
What were some of the challenges in writing this book? I know there had to be many.
Yeah, I would say the greatest challenge is I wanted it to be as real and actual as possible. And therefore, I had to experience those locations, those places, our revered holy lands, international religious foundations. I wanted to be there, so it took a lot of travel. I was in China, Tibet, the Middle East, Jordan, specifically Israel, Turkey, Egypt. As a matter of fact, one of the editors at the publishers had me go back to Israel just to count steps to make sure that what I was writing about was actually true, because I wanted the reader to experience exactly what it was to see these churches and these mosques and understand the backgrounds and history of those holy places.
The book has several messages, but what's the most important one to you?
Well, it would be that we aren't different, that we are the same. We are united in our faith. And what's happened is through religion we express our faith differently. And what I want to do is have people understand and focus on what unites us, which is our faith, while respecting and having tolerance for the religions of the world.
There's a sense of transformation with the central characters. Talk a little bit about the transformation of those.
Well, each character is very important to the story. They are unique. It's about varied backgrounds. It's about different people coming together and experience and enlightenment. So it was important that all the different characters had varied backgrounds. And the characters go through a transformation. They go through a change. They go through a metamorphosis. So you had to understand where they were and where they're going to. And it's important for that to happen as the reader goes along that journey with those characters.
Are you a messenger of peace?
Well, I don't think I would say I'm a messenger of peace. No doubt. The book is, the story is, and the message that is embedded in the story, and the revelation, and the answers that come out to questions that people would have, that's going to bring peace to not just one's own sense of spirituality and comfort with their faith, but also it demonstrates and brings forward a way of thinking and a hope and allows one to grasp on what the future can be. So definitely within the book, it is a message of peace.
I was fascinated how you blended the historical setting of the Middle East with today's present setting. Tell us a little bit about how you did that.
It does take place in present day. As a matter of fact, it's taking place right now. Interestingly enough, What's happening in the story as the book begins is Israel and Palestine have announced new peace talks, and they're struggling through those peace talks as they both are, coming from a background of some dissension. Also, Iran developing nuclear weapons is a part of the backdrop, so it's specifically current day. One of the things that happens, because it is in the Holy Land, is that the book takes a journey into the fantasy and surreal. It becomes more spiritual. However, that spirituality and that surrealness, really we accept as our fantasy. We don't accept it as our fantasy, we accept it as our reality. In fact, angels, miracles, the mystical Buddha, the knowledge of Confucius, the stories of Confucius, Shiva, the Hindu god of death and destruction, and Vishnu, the god of preservation. These are all very surreal and fantasy. However, we accept them as our reality. So that is all tied in and intertwined into the story as its reality.
Greg, it's been fascinating. I've certainly enjoyed learning a little bit more about your perspective on Then Came Peace. I read it, I loved it, and I highly encourage everybody to take a look at it. Get it in your favorite bookstores. You want more information, go to andthencamepeace.com or everydaysuccess.tv. Greg, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Ron.